Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Exchange Zone podcast brought to you by Berkshire Running Camp. And I hope everyone's enjoying all the Instagram content that's being put out there. I certainly am. And I can't wait to go to Market Basket and buy some granola bar supplies and make me some granola bars and probably a smoothie too. Probably tomorrow I'll do that. But that's not interesting at all. What is interesting is that we have another awesome guest today. I hope you enjoyed Andy Butcher yesterday. Today, we've got another spectacular athlete, one of the most exciting young athletes on the scene right now. And you have probably heard of her from her record-breaking mile at the Millrose Games earlier this year. And she ran a time of 4:16. American record, second all-time in the indoor mile. And that person's none other than Elle Purrier. She is a UNH grad. She's from Vermont, so she's pretty local. She runs for Team New Balance Boston. And it was really awesome to be able to sit down and talk to her about the exciting stuff that was happening and is happening in her career at this moment, despite all the craziness that's going on. So special thanks to Elle for taking the time to talk with us. Also, thank you to New Balance, who is connecting us with these athletes. We really appreciate it. Caitlin from New Balance is super clutch and is kind of our liaison. So thank you, Caitlin, as well. And with that, let's get to it. Take care, everybody. Have a good week.
I'm sure there's a lot of campers who, and counselors and people listening who, have heard your name over the past year with all the stuff you've done, the world champs, and also your exciting mile this past winter. So, yeah, we totally appreciate you taking this call. We were told we were told we have an hour with you, so we'll try to stick to that.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. So first off, we were kind of talking off the call, but how's your training and everything been since just madness started happening and everything started closing? How's it been going?
Surprisingly well. It has, definitely been different, like the beginning of COVID versus now. But overall, it's been good. I've been, for the most part, up in Vermont training alone. I just felt like at the beginning I really just wanted to get out of the city, and we weren't practicing at all as a team. So that was definitely a bit of a transition to be by myself, because I've never really, trained this long by myself. But yeah, it's been all right. Been getting in the workouts, and then, that kind of developed into doing sort of like a mini season. So I was kind of surprised at what kind of shape I was in.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, this pandemic, it's terrible that everything got canceled, but at least personally, I feel like it was kind of like a reset button. Like everything that you had planned, obviously missing the Olympics, Olympic trial stinks, but and I can't relate to that at all, but just shutting down, letting your body rest, just kind of chilling out. It's good to hear that you're still, in great shape despite not really having that many things to shoot for at this point, or things to shoot for, but it's always kind of a moving target.
Yeah, I feel like almost taking the pressure off of the season, has allowed me to, kind of do things that I wouldn't normally do. I haven't spent this much time at home since I left for college, and that's definitely been really refreshing and reminds me how much I love it here. And but yeah, I feel like at the beginning it was super disappointing about the Olympics and the Olympic trials, but just seeing everything that was going on in the world, I knew it was the right decision, and I couldn't imagine getting on a flight to Tokyo right now. So
yeah, no way.
Yeah, so that was definitely a hard thing to wrap my head around at first, but now it's it's past the point of when the Olympics would have been, so it's I don't know, it's starting that cycle of the year all over again.
Right. Yeah. Is it easy for you to how difficult is it for you to plan and so much uncertainty?
Um,
Plan for
yeah,
like for Olympics next year, or whatever's still going to be happening.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of just an exaggeration of what I'm used to all the time anyways. I feel like as the season goes on, like every other year you make decisions based on like what happens, or what happens in a race, or like what happens in training, like, and so you're always trying to adapt like that. But like this is definitely, like I said, like an exaggerated version of that.
Yeah.
But it's been good, just I find stability in my teammates and my coach, and just kind of make smaller plans with him, and my teammates, just for like the next few months at a time. But yes, like you always have those distant goals, which now is the Olympics again.
Mhm.
So just hoping everything goes smoothly for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I hope so too. Oh, Pat's talking, but I can't hear him.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Ellie, are you solo training in Vermont?
For the most part, yes.
Yeah.
I have gone back to Boston like quite a few times, but like kind of stayed out of the city, like I stayed at my coach's house, and we've done some time trials. I've gone down for like a few days at a time doing some harder workouts with the girls. And they've actually come up here a few times. It's kind of like a breath of fresh air up here where it's not like so congested. And so that's been really nice to get in a little bit of training with them up here. But I'm actually getting ready for my wedding in 2 weeks.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thanks. So that's kind of why I'm like up here right now. My coach has been super flexible with me about that. So that's, just kind of a natural thing with COVID going on. But after that, I'm sure that we'll, buckle down and do some more training down in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. What a year to have a wedding, right?
Yeah, crazy. 2020 was supposed to be the year.
I know. Yeah. But I mean, you did have, at least you had like at least one bright spot with your Melrose Mile.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is something that people have been asking you about all the time, but we can't not ask you about it. So yeah, I guess just watching that video, you seemed pretty shocked when you realized it was the American record. Just, I guess, take us through that as best as you can. You've had enough time to kind of process it now, maybe.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm like, with everything that's going on, I'm like, it's just even more sweet that I was able to have that experience, that race in 2020. So like, if everything else was a bust, at least I had that race,
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, we were just gearing up for the summer. Like we went to altitude in January, like we've done the last 2 years, and just kind of got in some base training, and then like maybe did like a couple speed things like a few weeks before indoors started. And I really had like hardly any expectations at Melrose. Like it is a meet that I had done since I was a junior in college, I think. I'm pretty sure so that was like my 4th or 5th time racing there. So it was definitely a special meet to me, and I knew what to expect, especially in the Wanamaker Mile. So definitely was going for the win, and I put myself in the race, and so I did accomplish that goal. But along with that came the American record, which I was super shocked about. Like I didn't expect it. Like honestly, I feel like the only people that thought I probably could do that were my current coach, Mark Coogan, and probably my college coach, Robert Hoppler. And I, like was totally shocked, but now it's kind of sunk in. And so, definitely glad to have had that experience this year.
Yeah. So crazy. So wild. And your kick the last 200 was like insane. What point of the race did you like? Obviously, you were just competing, right?
Yeah.
Like, was there any like inclination that you were, you probably weren't paying attention to splits, but did you realize like this feels different than another race where you're, it's coming down to the wire with another group, or was it? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess it was kind of intimidating just looking at the field that was going to be in the meet, like looking at like the top, girls, they were all like placing like really high at world championships last year. And I knew their resumes and I competed against them before, so that was definitely intimidating, but I definitely had some confidence in the indoor mile. And so I just kind of hung on the best I could. And I think, the last 2 laps, when I, started to pick people off a little bit, and then it probably wasn't until the last 150 where I'm like, wow, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
But I wasn't looking at splits. I hardly remember anything, to be honest. Like, I just remember the last lap, and it's obviously been a lot of fun to rewatch the race and everything. But I just like, I don't know, I just went how I felt and competed the best I could. And, I think that that's kind of cool to do it in a race like that,
Yeah. Super cool. What's the, like, after you do it, next couple of days, like what's that like?
Oh yeah.
What I'm sure you like tons of phone calls, text messages,
yeah.
like just bombarded.
Yeah. Honestly, it was
Taco Bell or something after that.
Taco Bell. No, we went to Coogan's after, and like the whole crowd in the bar or like in the restaurant was just like going crazy. Like it was a packed house, and the owner like walked me in, and he's like, "This is Elle Purrier, and she just broke the American record," and everybody was like clapping and cheering. That was honestly one of the best parts of the night. And yeah, just so many text messages, so many calls and posts on Instagram. Yeah, it was pretty overwhelming, I will say, right after, but definitely fun to like spread out the joy, over the next week. Yeah. But then trying to rally again for USA's the weekend after was kind of tough because it was draining, but so fun at the same time. Yeah.
I'm curious, just, kind of in a race like Millrose where you have sort of a loaded field like that. I guess to tie into it, yesterday we had Andy on the podcast, and we were kind of asking him, he was an Olympic athlete. He's an Olympic athlete as well, and we were kind of touching base with him on what his mindset was heading into big races like that. Whether it be Diamond League meets or the Olympics. What's like your mindset going into big races like that, where it's a loaded field and you're kind of like I guess not an unknown, but like a newer professional athlete?
Yeah, I would say it definitely depends on the race. I think every race is different. I'm feeling before, but just I don't know. I think I've gotten a lot of experience, or like a lot more experience than when I first started out, obviously. But every race teaches you a little bit more, and I think each race I gain a little bit of confidence that I didn't have before. And so, just going off of that, but it all comes down to whether or not you believe in yourself. And so if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to accomplish nearly what you could if you did believe in yourself, and that's not something I've mastered at all. Definitely still working on that. But I think one thing that's really helped is having a coach like Mark, who's just kind of a cut and dry, like, you can do this, like, no doubt in his mind. Like, he just says it like kind of casually sometimes. And so like, having somebody like that believes in me has definitely helped. But again, just from experience, I think that's been the biggest thing, but it's tough. It's not easy.
Yeah, for sure. And this is kind of what's cool, I think, about this podcast and hearing you know, even professional athletes like you talk about, you know, the struggle of, you know, getting out there to race. There's always going to be butterflies and nerves, and
Oh yeah.
it's just, yeah. And
You're really vulnerable. Like you're setting yourself up to be like, okay, I'm gonna try my hardest, and so everybody's watching you try your absolute hardest. And what if you just like fail?
right.
Like it's so you're so vulnerable, but at the same time, like the people sitting in the stands aren't doing it. You know, like you're out there for a reason, and you know, if you give yourself a chance, then chances are you're gonna do better than you thought.
Yeah, that's awesome. And obviously you talked about Mark, and then what was your coach's name at UNH?
Hop.
Hop.
Yep.
Okay, Hop. Yeah, shout out to Hop. Shout out to Mark. Clearly, you had like your I don't want to say upbringing. Your just like progression from college to pros seemed to make sense. I do want to get into your like prior to that though, because you're calling from your farm in Vermont, right? Is that where you grew up?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that, like just the Vermont running scene as you were growing up, or even like how you discovered running, kind of like where that beginning happened for you?
Yeah. So all through high school, I was a multi-sport athlete. I started running my freshman year in high school on the track team, but in the fall, I did soccer, and then I did basketball in the winter time, and that was when the track coach for a different. So this is kind of confusing, but the track coach for a different high school was the assistant coach at our school for basketball. And so he saw me running for tryouts at basketball where we had to do like a mile run, and I just like beat everybody by a lot. And that was like my first time, you know, like in a race or whatever. And so he came up to me and told me that he really thought I should do track, and he was somebody I'd known for a long time. I used to like show cows with his daughters and stuff, but so he like really persuaded me to try out for the track team. And so that spring I did, and you know, it was kind of a big deal for me not to join the softball team, and so I gave track a chance, and I ended up being like second in the state that year in the 3K. And then, you know, the next fall, there was no cross country team in my school. So one of my teachers, my history teacher, he started the team, and so there was probably like 4 or 5 of us on the team. But yeah, so it was definitely like just pretty isolating. There was not a lot of us, and I was just kind of doing it because like I was good at it, and I had, you know, a pretty good support system, like some really good mentors for running. And but I think I was really, you know, naive to the college scene and the professional world especially, but definitely started to have some success in high school, and then ultimately that's what got me to go to UNH, is looking at the team and getting a scholarship to run there. But
Yeah, awesome. So
Yeah,
go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, no, I guess just going off of that, you know, when did it kind of, you know, cross your mind or show up on your internal radar, like I can do this as a profession, and I can, you know, kind of this is more than just kind of something to do to stay in shape?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, probably my junior year of high school, I realized it was probably something I wanted to pursue in college, and that was when college coaches were reaching out to me, and I was getting, you know, letters in the mail and phone calls from the different coaches and stuff. And that's when I realized that I had potential to, you know, run in college on a, you know, a bigger stage. But I think, you know, it just slowly progressed from there. And then it wasn't until probably a similar time in college, like junior, senior year, that I was like, okay, I think I want to run professional. Because when I was going to college, I'm like, I'm going to do this for 4 years, then I'm going to go home. But then I decided to run 5 years because I had the eligibility. And I think that that's ultimately what really set me up well for like the professional world, is having that extra year as a 5th year, because I had a lot less classes and I was able to take running more serious and devote more of my time to that, you know, like anybody would do for their, you know, career that wasn't running. Like in college, you do everything you can to prepare yourself for the next year. So that was obviously kind of different than what most people do when they end college, but yeah, I think it was, you know, towards the end of college that I realized that I wanted to keep doing it.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds like you made a good choice.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's awesome. How'd the process go as far as like getting signed with New Balance, and I guess like hooking up, connecting with Mark Coogan? Like, how did that whole process work post college?
Well, first I started talking with my agent, you know, and he kind of helped me, you know, talk to different teams and stuff. But so my college coach was pretty good friends, or is pretty good friends with Mark. And so that was definitely, you know, that definitely helped the process. But I did look in a lot of different places. I looked, you know, like at probably most every company, and talked to a lot of coaches and stuff. But it was pretty apparent to me that I wanted to stay on the East Coast. And so, you know, it kind of narrowed it down to Boston area, which there was a lot of options in Boston too. But I just really liked the team, and I really liked Mark, everything he had to say, and I liked New Balance and just thought they were a great company. So just worked out for the best.
Awesome. Another thing I wanted to ask you about was Doha last year, right? That was your first world champs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was that experience? That must have been pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I first of all didn't know where that was
Yeah.
until I was, you know, racing for the team. But I never probably would have thought that I'd be traveling to the Middle East to be racing, or to go there at all. Like I never probably would have imagined that. So that was just an experience in itself. But obviously to go through the process at US Champs and make a team was, you know, so special, and just like definitely one of the biggest moments in my career. So I just like don't think that there's any greater honor in the sport than to wear USA across your chest, you know. So
Yeah.
make the team and do that, you know, the year before what was supposed to be the Olympics was, I thought, really great for, you know, practice for the next year. But anyways, when I got there, it was just so special. I roomed with Jenny Simpson, and
Oh, nice.
I felt like she kind of took me under her wing a little bit and showed me around the ropes, you know. But just to be on that stage it was amazing. To be in a country so far away, it was intimidating. But yeah, my sister and my fiance and my grandmother actually came out to watch, and so that was just super special. Yeah, one of the best weeks of my life.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm trying to think based on like when you know, signed with New Balance and everything, had you done any like traveling for competition prior to that extent? Like obviously not Middle East, but what else had you done at that, like prior to that point?
Yeah, the summer before I had raced in Europe.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went to Italy and Belgium, Ireland, and then last summer I went to England, and all those countries again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely that helped, like
Yeah.
you just, when you're racing in a different country, like you just never know what to expect. You kind of just have to learn how to figure out what you need to do and figure out how to do it with the resources that you have. But definitely being in the Middle East is different. Like Doha was literally 115 degrees every single day with like 80% humidity or something insane. Like
Wow.
it was like when you walked outside, it was like hard to breathe. So, that was definitely not something I got used to. Like I just had to like basically run on the treadmill every day, or in the afternoons I would run. I know like the evenings, like 6 or 7 o'clock, we'd like run outside once it was dark. But I had to wear you couldn't wear tank tops, like you couldn't wear shorts because of the cultural
wow.
beliefs over there. So that was definitely a different experience too. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was so fun.
Yeah. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised when I heard that it was in Doha. Well, yeah, first of all, I agree. I was like, where is that? And then like to have it, I guess it was late September, right? So it wasn't quite summer, but if it was 115 degrees, like doesn't matter.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I felt like you're in a sauna all the time.
Yeah.
And the stadium was air conditioned, even though it was outside. So that was just so insane to see. Like it was this huge, huge, huge stadium, and then just massive air conditioners just blowing cold air out. And there's like a giant hole in the roof. It's not like it's staying there, but the track was probably like, I think 72 degrees, they said. So that felt like so cold. It felt so cold compared to outside,
Well, I didn't realize that. That's wild.
Yeah, like even running around the track outside was like cooler than if I was like at our hotel, which was like 20 minutes away or whatever.
Wow. I don't know. Like I've read some articles about you, and they like always talk about like, oh, this farm girl from Vermont. Like, do you like keep that as part of your identity as much as these articles are saying, like, or as part of your like either race mentality? Like, do you still have any connection to it as far as like, when I read those articles, I'm like, oh, she's literally doing farmer's carries with like buckets of milk, and that's why she's a great runner.
Yeah. I feel like when I first like went to college, I felt like they milked it a little bit, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I've always been super proud to be a farm kid. Like even from a young age, like I remember like that was something I was always really proud of. But then you go like away from Vermont or like, even just Franklin County where I'm from, you realize that there's just a lot less people that grow up on farms. So like I was like pretty normal, I think, around here. And then like, wow, like people don't really know what it means to grow up on a farm, and they don't know what like it, like what the everyday lifestyle is like, and they don't really know what it's like to be around cows or anything like that. So I think that it's kind of like this, like, oh my God, she grew up on a farm, but like, so like I felt like people made more of a bigger deal out of it than I liked, and so like I kind of like used to like kind of laugh at people for like thinking that was so crazy, but I definitely like have changed my perspective on that, and that like I think it's a great opportunity for me to talk about my upbringing and my story, and I know that it is unique and that I am the minority, and it's also a great opportunity to like teach people about farming, because it's kind of a dying thing in Vermont. The dairy farming is you know, I hate to say that, it's not necessarily dying, but it's definitely changing. There's just a lot less farms than there used to be, but you know, modern agriculture is super exciting as well. But I just think a lot of people don't have a very good perspective on that. And so, but yeah, it's definitely been like a huge part of me as an athlete and finding my success. Yeah, it's definitely come from how I was brought up. I think that from a young age, I learned a work ethic. You know, I was always doing something, always staying busy. And I think I got a lot of my core strength from being active like that when I was a kid and, you know, trying to keep up with everybody else on the farm, you know, and I'm, yeah, super, super proud to have grown up on a farm.
Yeah, that's awesome. I guess that is stuff that you would only know in retrospect, because otherwise it's just your life, you know, like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping maybe you would say like you would do like Rocky IV montages with like, I don't even know,
Yeah.
the hay bales and I don't know, whatever.
Well,
But
yeah, when I was a kid, I definitely used to like unload like from a young age, like all summer I would just unload hay. Like I remember
Yeah.
days where we unloaded like 1,400 bales, like, and that was like,
What?
yeah, it was like a pretty big day, but like I definitely remember counting that many like there's like a few hundred on each wagon and we'd unload like 10 wagons, you know?
Yeah, wow.
And yeah.
Yeah. So makes sense to me. You definitely, as you're coming around that final turn in your American record, it was like, yeah, that's all those hay bales.
Yeah. I don't really think that, no, but
no. That's awesome. I'm glad you I don't know, I'm glad you did grow up on a farm. That's like, this is a selfish side note. I like grew a garden this summer and I'm so proud of it. And
yeah.
I want to, like, my dream is to kind of like own a farm someday. And it's not at all like what I've grown up doing, but I saw like the documentary Biggest Little Farm and I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. So
Yeah, I think any way that you can be involved and like understand, you know, like nature, it's pretty cool. Like I grew a garden this year and I'm super proud of it too. So
nice.
I
What are you growing?
I'm growing a lot of tomatoes and I just
Mm,
started picking the tomatoes. I've got cucumbers, beans, lettuce, zucchinis. My squash are kind of like I don't know how they're gonna do, but
yeah.
oh, and some potatoes and cabbage. So
Nice.
yeah.
That's a good
Oh, and
spread
some
there.
carrot.
And some carrots.
Yeah.
It's a whole Thanksgiving meal right there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way with my squash. This is a total side tangent, but we could just do a whole nother podcast about gardening. But mine's the same way. Like my zucchini are killing it, but my squash, oh, it's just not a squash kind of year.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine's looking kind of yellow, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe they'll turn around.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
Jalapenos do really well in this weather as well.
Oh, yeah?
it's so hot.
Another side note, I work at a running store and one of my coworkers has a garden and she just uses me to pawn off all the vegetables that she can't get rid of. She says like, okay, you're the distance runner. We'll give you all the vegetables to eat. And I think I probably had like maybe 20 jalapenos this week.
That's
but
you've eaten 20 jalapenos?
Yeah, just throwing them in whatever I cook.
That's so many.
They do really well in this weather, and they're a good distance runner food as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. 20 jalapenos, dude. That's so many jalapenos.
Yeah,
you don't
I
need that much. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, you're just like,
clean out your sinuses.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well,
It's good if you're wearing a mask all day.
Yeah, for real.
You taste the rest of your food, or?
Yeah.
What was that?
So I feel like I wouldn't be able to taste any other food if I ate that many jalapenos.
Oh yeah. I mean, I definitely like have some blisters on my tongue from it, but they're good.
Wow.
But they
Dude,
do great in this weather.
You're a maniac.
Yeah.
Are you one of those people who tries like the whatever, like Diablo hot sauces that are like a trillion Scoville or whatever?
Yeah. No, I mean, I've always liked spicy things, but yeah, kind of getting off course a little bit, but
It's okay.
yeah, I feel like that's kind of a segue. I feel like Ryan, one of us was going to ask this question, but I feel like it's kind of like a we had to ask this question. Ellie, what is, being from Vermont, what is your favorite Ben and Jerry's flavor?
Fish food for sure.
Oh yeah. It's a good flavor. Are you a fan of the band fish?
I don't know if I've tried that one.
No. Oh, okay.
Oh.
So fish
You mean
food is
the fish-
named after the band.
Oh.
Fish. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard, like, I don't like regularly listen to them, I guess, but they definitely, I can appreciate the history of that. Yeah.
Yeah, the vibes. They're probably pretty well known in Vermont. I only asked that because our high school coach is also a director at Berkshire Running Camp, is a huge fish fan. Like goes to all their shows and stuff. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So he that was for him mostly. But.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach Z. He also set this whole thing up. So
yeah.
Shout out to Z.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So besides gardening and casually listening to fish, what else have you been doing in quarantining? Like other projects or anything that you like doing?
I've been wedding planning a lot.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely had a lot more time to do that. And I've been helping a lot around my parents' farm, so that's been really nice to be able to, spend time with the cows, spend time with my parents, and I don't know what else. I feel like I've been pretty busy, but just like,
well, planning a wedding is probably like I haven't done it, so I can imagine it's craziness.
Yeah.
Cool. So I do want to get into just like, because we have a lot of like high school age kids, younger kids listening. And like this pandemic has been kind of interesting in that literally everyone is in the same boat. Everyone in the running community has had something canceled, whether it's like your St. Patrick's Day 5K or, Tokyo Olympics. And we kind of touched on it, but what do you have any like advice for younger runners who are dealing with some kind of adversity or even uncertainty for what their cross country season is going to look like, things like that?
Yeah. I know it's just been kind of like a long summer, I think. I'm sure that people are like really starting to feel it now, like but hopefully adapting and starting to feel somewhat, the new normal, as they say. But I don't know. I guess my best advice would just to be reaching out to your teammates and your coach and trying to find some stability with them. And that's definitely been what's helped me the most, and just, keeping in contact with my teammates and talking to them about how I feel and talking to them about how they feel, and, just taking it day by day, and just, even though it's like super, like, I don't know the right word, like it just sucks, like things getting canceled. Like it really does. But like just trying to, still be appreciative of the things that you do have, and running's a sport where you can get outside and do it every day, even if, even if everything else in the world is canceled, you can still go outside and run because you're outside, you know what I mean? And I don't know, just like being appreciative of having good health and doing your part so that this could be over as soon as it possibly can.
Yeah, totally agree.
And I think that's also such a good point, because one of our prior guests, who's a coach, who's the director at a camp, said, brought up a good point that, our sport, we can essentially do it, by ourselves. We don't need to have a hockey rink. We don't need to have a gym to, we don't need equipment or other people to do our sport. We can just get out the door and do it. So it's definitely something to be grateful for.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure like at this point, like if you're hanging out with people that are like close to you, like you can go out for runs now with like your friends, like depending on your area and everything.
Right.
But like, I don't know, just the competitions being canceled definitely is hard. But like what we've done is kind of set up competitions just within our team, so that's definitely helped. And just like it's definitely just different, but like psyching yourself up for that has, been a little bit of stimulus that we've all missed. And so if there's any way that they could do that, I think that could really help, this cross country season. But also I think one thing that's helped me is just knowing that everything that I'm doing right now is helping me for the future. So like when we finally get back to races and being normal again, like it will pay off to have put in the work now,
Right. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yep.
Just take it one day at a time, one step at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're all in it together. Like I know it's like you're alone, but like everybody, like you said, is, dealing with the same things. And so, that kind of helps me too. Like it's not like I'm the only one that's running by myself. Like there's a lot of people running by themselves. Like a lot of my teammates, I haven't, but they've been doing, kind of the different apps where like you're like competing with people like on the apps, like for like a certain like
like Strava.
Yeah.
You're not on Strava?
No, I'm not, but
Okay.
some of my teammates are, and I think that they've kind of had fun with that. So.
Yeah. Have you seen the Strava drawings? People like drawing
No
pictures with their Strava maps.
Yeah.
there's some,
that's cool.
Yeah. There's some guy out there who's like a Strava artist, and I'll try to like post. I don't know his name offhand, but I'll try to post his stuff and like the links that I'll put on this. But it's unbelievable what he's able to do. I think he is in like a gridded city, so he's able to like actually make pretty accurate, good drawings with it. But it's like insane.
Well, is he like running through buildings to like try to make the perfect?
Oh, maybe, I don't know. But like, what it take? I just want to know. I gotta check like how long those runs gotta take. Like it's gotta be running marathons like every day. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Ellie. We're almost at an hour, but thank you so much again for talking with us. And where can I guess for anyone who wants to follow what you're up to, or updates on when stuff does start to open up, what's the best way for people to follow you?
Definitely on my Instagram.
Cool.
That's my most public account.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, Pat. Did I miss anything?
No. I mean, I thought I had one last question.
Oh, sorry, I jumped the gun there.
Yeah, no, I was just curious. I don't know if this has been covered, but what's up next for you, Ellie, besides getting married? Is there any time trials on the horizon, or are you just kind of just shooting for the future right now?
Yeah, well, we did sort of have a mini season into my last time trial for a while was a week ago today. We've, done like 5 or 6 of those, and then we did get in one race. But now I'm sort of on a bit of a break, getting ready for the wedding, and then after that, I'll probably start training harder again. But I don't know. My coach has talked a little bit about getting out to altitude camp, if we could do that safely somewhere. I think that will be the next step. But then, no races on, set in stone and anything that so. But definitely looking forward to when, that changes.
Right.
There's this race in Hawaii that I went to last year, and it was just so much fun. And so I was really hoping that one stays this year, but I'm not sure how that's going to look. But
what time of year is that one?
It's in December.
Okay.
But not sure.
Yeah, I guess December still could go either way, I guess.
Yeah.
Everything's just day to day. Hopefully it opens up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thanks again. Best of luck with everything, and with preparing for hopefully a 2021 Olympics next year.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this, Ellie, and definitely good luck at your wedding. Have fun, and I don't know, just kind of stop thinking about running for a bit and enjoy that.
Yeah, thanks. I'll do that. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, congrats again. All right, thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too.
All right, I'm going to stop recording.